right, so we're almost done establishing the common vernacular that we're going to use to give us a baseline into what is risk management. And specifically, we'll talk about some of the mitigation strategies that we went in before. We went through the residual risk, and now we get into a couple of huge words that really I think are pretty straightforward. First one is this business impact analysis. And that really comes into what is the potential for something happening in an organization. So if we come in and we say, hey, what are your most critical applications that you use in business? Well, most of the time people are going to say email is probably number one. Probably number two is your financial system. And then number three may be a proprietary piece of software that you sell to customers. Well, what happens if there's an interruption of service? It specifically will affect the CIA triad. So the confidentiality, the integrity, and the availability of a core process at your organization. Well, what we can do is we can put together this business impact analysis, and we'll go through and do that here in a few minutes. Another type of thing is a CBA, and that's a cost benefit analysis. And essentially, it's very similar to the business impact analysis, but what we end up doing is we end up looking at how much does it cost and what are the return on investments that we get for that cost. And based on that, then management has to make a decision on whether or not we go through and actually purchase it or purchase the device or software to put that control in place. And based off of that, then that's where your cost benefit analysis comes into play. So those are the common definitions that we needed to establish before we can get into talking a little bit about some controls. Any questions?